Greetings, everyone, and thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. I am Yah-Tay Keaton, your host of Female Barber Talk, and we are back with episode number 56. Let's put the title up here. Thank you all for joining. If you're catching this on the replay, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to replay this podcast. Today is Super Bowl Sunday, so I know we may not get a lot of folks on, but that's okay because the mission of me putting this information out still has to go on. So if you're catching this on the replay, I appreciate you. Thank you. And I hope you are enjoying your Super Bowl Sunday. For those of you who aren't familiar with Female Barber Talk, we're in our 56th episode. It's been a little over a year that this podcast was started. It was a desire of mine to have the voice of female barbers who are in the industry, master barbers, a barber stylist, and the collective within the barber and beauty industry. So this is a platform for that. I do have special guests on. We have some more individuals booked, and they will be coming on sooner and later. As well as me bringing more topics as it relates to the barber industry. However, these topics and subjects are evergreen, and they can be used within any industry. If you just look at the core of the message and take out the barbering aspect or the master barber aspect of it, you can still use it. So my question to you as we prepare for this topic, and I'm just gonna, I'm doing somewhat of a series, but they can stand alone. And this is based off of Brandy and I coming in the new year, doing our, what was it? Let me see. It was called New Year, New Vision, Setting Your 2026 Barbering Life and Life Goals, Barbering and Life Goals. So there were some things that we touched on in that series that was part of the first Sunday Fade and Flow show. If you don't know, there's a Fade and Flow show that comes on every first Sunday with Brandy and I of the month. And I know I should be getting into the subject, and I'm giving y'all content about, you know, other episodes as it relates to Female Barber Talk. But nonetheless, it's all it's important. It's important, and it provides the cohesiveness to what we do. But nonetheless, we have a first Sunday with the Fade and Flow show every first Sunday. Brandon and I come on, and then I come on and provide topics. They're honestly geared towards the younger barber as well as the new barbers and those who are considering the industry. Yet, as I mentioned before, this information can be utilized in other industries as well as your personal life, if you think about it. So somewhere along the way, barbering taught us that if you're not tired, you're not working hard enough. And I've seen it, I've heard it, I've witnessed individuals working 6-7 days a week. And hear me when I share this particular content about hustle or alignment, why they're not the same, which is the title of this topic. So I know you get the ones that talk about hustle culture. You know, you got to get on your grind. You got to do this. You got to do that. Yes, I understand it. I've been there, done that. But as a seasoned individual, someone who's come into the industry later in life, I understand the difference, and I'm going to share with you why they aren't the same. Share, you know, some of my personal experience, as I always do, because that's all I know, even though I've observed others. And for those of you who are joining, don't know much about me, I've worked in many different industries, from nonprofit to profit to government. I'm prior military. I've worked with children. I've worked in community programs. I've worked as a prevention and outreach educator, amongst many things. But now, as a barber stylist, a newly licensed barber instructor, which I've always been teaching. I've taught in the classroom as a sub, and I actually love subbing. So, but nonetheless, I've written curriculum. I've done all of that. So, the reason why I share that is because my experiences, I come from many different vantage points. Greetings. Thank you for tuning in. Peace and blessings. Great to see you on. And welcome. So tonight's episode is about hustle or alignment, why they're not the same. And I was expressing to our audience, the replay viewers, that I feel that I'm able to give experiences from varying vantage points because of my work background and different things that I've done in these short years that I've lived. But nonetheless, we're going to talk about hustle or alignment, and why hustle doesn't equal success and exhaustion isn't the goal. Because as barbers, as stylists, as anyone in the beauty and barber industry, we provide the services unless you're an owner and you have individuals working for you. And sometimes owners get in and get their hands, they work their hands, so to speak. I don't want to say get them dirty, but they work their hands within the business as well. But even in that, it's really not about exhaustion. That is not the goal. The goal is to be sustainable, because we are the service. We provide the service. As my mentor would say, I'm the product. We're the product that is providing the service to those individuals who come in to be seen by us. And if we aren't well, and if we aren't taking care of ourselves, then we aren't able to continue on in what we do, because the body will let you know. The body will let you know, and it'll put you down in some cases, not in a bad way, but because it's exhausted, it's tired, it needs to recoup, it needs to rejuvenate itself, get that rest so that we can continue on. So tonight is about discussing the difference between the hustle and alignment and why they aren't the same, and remembering that exhaustion is not the goal, okay? Busy does not equal success. So as I mentioned before, and I have notes, I have a couple key points that I want to point out, and I promise I won't be before you too long. But nonetheless, somewhere along the line, barbering taught us that if we're not tired, we're not working hard enough. But let me say this very clear. Hustle and alignment are not the same. And we're going to get into what hustle is portrayed as and what alignment really is. So one drains you, the other sustains you. So hustle and drain you, and alignment will sustain you. And here's why. So our first point, hustle is output driven, alignment is purpose driven. Okay? Remember that. Hustle is output. Remember we said it drains you. One drains you, the other one sustains you. Alignment is purpose driven. And with alignment being purpose driven, we know that it will sustain you because there's a purpose. There's also a why behind what you do. And you're not just hustling to be hustling. Not to say that hustling doesn't have a why and doesn't have a purpose, but you also got to look at, okay, what's the push? What's the rush? What's driving it? Is it truly your why or truly your purpose? Now, like I said, I know we're going to, get some comments and different things about this, but hear me out. Hear out these points that I'm going to put before you, and then I'm going to leave you with some things to think on as we close out. So hustle is about output driven, alignment is purpose driven, and hustle focus more on how much you do, whereas alignment focus on the why and the how. Remember, I talked about what's your why. And in discussing your why, you're wanting to know, okay, why am I doing this? How am I doing this? Is this sustaining me? Goes back to alignment, hustle. One drains, one sustains. And I'm gonna, give you a few examples. Like I say, I have my notes here because as a former community educator, one who worked with youth, teen moms, and what they call at-risk population. Um, I did a lot of community educating. So this is me transitioning that or transforming that to yet another platform, and also utilizing it in my new career as a barber stylist, as I mentioned, barber educator. So one example in reference to the hustle and the alignment, or hustle is output driven and alignment is purpose driven, is taking every client regardless of your energy. And I know this happens, some seasoned individuals, if they haven't prepared themselves or put certain things in place, then they're still hustle driven. But oftentimes you see this with younger barbers or new barbers where they're taking on a lot of clients. Now, I said that I've been there. You're getting as many as you can in, you're building up your clientele, because oftentimes we got to start from zero unless we have a clientele that is large enough to sustain us coming out of school. And then maybe you someone who's done OJT. We're not going to forget about the OJT individuals who are training while they're building, while they're learning, and they have clientele. But either way, we're taking on a lot of clients regardless of the energy that we feel, or how or it fits. All right. The second thing is saying yes because the schedule is open, not because it's aligned. Oftentimes we say yes, oh yeah, I take it, oh yeah, I do it. And is it aligned? Is it in align? Is it in alignment? And oftentimes we say yes, and our body might be saying, no, you've done enough for the day. Let's call it a day and go home and take a break, or go do whatever it is to prepare you for the next day. And like I mentioned, I've been there, done that. I've been the younger version working in other industries and knowing the impact. They always say if I knew then what I know now, I would have done things differently. Where I'm here to share with our younger barbers and those who are newly in the industry and those who are even considering getting in the industry to start out balanced, to set up some structure, to assess these things so that you're not at the 5-year mark where statistically is burnout. Statistically, oftentimes people just say, you know what, I'm done with this. This is a little much. So I want and desire to be the voice that assists them with laying a solid foundation so that they can move past that point, that 5-year mark, and also establish a foundation that's sustainable for them as they move forward. The resources are there. You can check the numbers. This industry is projected to do so many billion. It is an industry that, if they can find a way for AI to do what we do, it's going to be a while. And here's why. Who's going to trust a robot to be cutting on their head? Think about that. What if it malfunctions? What if something happens? Then you may be quickly unalived. I'm just putting that out there. So we are important. Every individual utilizes our services, whether it's seasonal, it's a special occasion, it's weekly, bi-weekly. Uh, they utilize our service. We are essential because if you think back to COVID and you look at those news anchors, those individuals who were still required to show up where the rest of us were, I don't want to say lockdown, but we were inside a lot for an extended period of time. Who groomed them? Who helped to keep them looking nice before they, appeared on television, handled the news or brought us the news? Somebody was doing that work for them. Even, some of our professionals who was taking care of them to keep them looking presentable. All right, enough said. So that's another example. And then measuring success by hours worked instead of impact created. It's all about impact, in my opinion. And I'm going to tell you why. When you take care of and you service your clients, they see the value in you and they will continue to work with you. But if you treat them like a number, you treat them like whatever, that's not the same. Our industry, we build relationships. I would hope you would build a relationship with your clientele. It's important. It's very, very important. But nonetheless, the first point, I won't get into all of that, but the first point here and the 3 points that I'm going to share with you as it relates to hustle or alignment, why they aren't the same. The first point is hustle is about output, whereas alignment is purpose driven. They're two separate things. One drains, one sustains. Okay, remember that. One deals with how much, the other one deals with the why and the how of how you do what you do. Okay, so this is something that I want you to think about as it relates to that one in preparation for the next point. Hustle ask, how much can I handle? Think about it now when you're hustling, because you're concerned about the output. So how much can I handle so I can keep putting out? Alignment asks, what makes sense for my life and whatever stage you're at. And I'm at a different stage than someone that's coming in and someone who's been in longer than I have been in the industry. Okay. So remember, hustle ask, how much can I handle? Alignment asks, what makes sense for me? Let me take this off. There we go. So alignment asks, what makes sense for me, or what makes sense for my life? And I'm going to add at this point in this season, because we talked about that in the last episode, 53. So as I mentioned, 53, we talked about vision without burnout, designing your ideal barber life. So if you haven't viewed that episode, go to episode number 53. This is like a continuation of that, although they, as I mentioned, can stand alone, but it's grouped together purposely because there's a message in this. We're gonna have another one next week, and I'll mention that afterwards. But if you haven't seen episode number 53, vision without burnout, designing your ideal barber life, and it can be stylist life, esthetician life, whatever life, because those points are universal, even though I am speaking it as is, directing it to barbering or the barbering industry. So the takeaway from this first point that I want you is more output doesn't always equal more fulfillment. Remember that. More output does not equal more fulfillment. Hustle is output driven. Alignment is purpose driven. Your why and how of what it is that you're doing. So the second point that I want to address in this episode is hustle ignores capacity. Alignment respects it. And when you think about capacity, you look at a container and its ability to hold something. You think about hustle and its capacity to hold what it is that you're trying to do, or wanting to do, whereas alignment respects the container, respects the space, respects the season that you're in. Am I in a position where I can do this? What's the why behind this and the how? So you see here, I am giving you the differences between the two and why they are not the same. And there's a place, and there's a time, there's a season for everything. But younger barbers, those who are starting out, as I mentioned, I want to share this information with you so there's a balance starting out, that you lay that foundation. Don't worry about the resources. The demand is there. The demand is there. Get your foundation together, set it up so that you're sustainable. You have longevity. You don't reach the 5-year burnout stage and you're like, oh, I'm done. Sometimes even before that, some people quit before they even get involved, or they really get into it. And we talked about that on the last podcast episode about let me see here, I have it. We talked about that just last week. Gatekeepers and guides, how seasoned barbers shape the next generation. So if you missed that, that is show number 7, episode number 55 of the Fade and Flow show. So check that out too. As I mentioned, I'm a teacher by heart. So I'm always not only taking in information, and these are things that I've had to look at and had to apply, and even in some cases examining how I'm moving forward in my career. And what is it that is important? Am I hustling right now? Am I in alignment with the future vision of what I see as it relates to my experience, my skills, and what I desire to leave with this generation or the next generation or future generations of barber and beauty industry professionals? So once again, hustle ignores capacity where alignment respects it. So hustle assumes your energy is unlimited. Think about that. It assumes that your energy is unlimited, whereas alignment understands it's seasonal. It's seasonal. Think about it. Don't jump on me. Yeah, well, hey, I'm up for it. I can always give strategy and content and information as it relates to things. There's a time and a season for everything. So I'm not saying don't hustle. I'm saying balance the hustle. Balance it so that you'll be sustainable within the industry and creating something that's you have longevity in it. And young folks think they can work forever and they're going to be here forever. And that's not the case. Something can happen. You injure your hand, you injure your body. God forbid, you develop some type of illness or something. And then what you got? So what I'm sharing with you is to balance that, put things into perspective so that you can have a sustainable career down the line. Okay, so some examples of this here is working through pain, fatigue, or burnout because it's the grind. I'm going to tell y'all, when your body is signaling you, that means that something is going on. Okay, So working through that, you can cause further injury, um, the pain, definitely in most cases will intensify more, and then the burnout. We talked about that. So uh, you see the difference? Alignment, hustle, hustle, alignment. Hustle doesn't equal success. All right. The next one is ignoring the mental load from clients, life, and responsibility. So we got clients who come in, they trust us, and oftentimes they share things with us. It could be confidential, it could be traumatic, and then it could be lighthearted. But from this space, we're talking about things that are mentally overloading or can be um, draining. And we take that, and oftentimes we put our stuff aside, because we have to. We're service providers. Like I mentioned, if you all aren't familiar with this scenario, my dad passed some months back, and my dad actually passed um, when I was in the barbershop. I got the word when I was in the barbershop, and I'm bringing this up to prove a point about this one example here of ignoring the mental load from clients' life or our responsibilities. So, as a service provider that day, I was fully booked. It was a Saturday. The shop was jumping. We had a lot of customers, but nonetheless, I got the call where I had been missing the call. I had started work actually before we opened because we had some individuals waiting, and I didn't have an appointment right away when we opened, so I was able to assist with taking a walk-in before my appointment came in. So I bring that up because in me working, I had my phone, so I kept my personal phone on the ring light, and then I kept my business line on the station. I kept my business line on the station because I'm at work. I want to communicate with my clients. If somebody's trying to contact me, then that's the line I use. As far as my personal line, I kept it in my ring light so that I can, glance at the notifications and, different things of that nature. But nonetheless, I was like, oh, I got, the 47 notifications by the time I looked. And, we all get notifications for varying things. But I was like, when I take a break, I take a look at it. Well, my family was trying to get in contact with me, and they weren't able to. So my niece, who was here, had moved back to my hometown, said, oh, she's at work, and she works at No Grease. So they end up calling the barbershop to get in contact with me because they couldn't get in contact with me on my personal line. They didn't think to call the business line, but nonetheless, they weren't able to get in contact with me. To get to the point of this and sharing with you how service providers have to put what they're experiencing to the side or on the back burner oftentimes to service. This is an example of that. So like I said, my books were full. I actually had someone in the chair, one of my younger clients. With that, I got the call. One of the other barbers answered the phone, and it was like, Miss Yah-Tay, someone's on the line for you, and they're saying it's an emergency. So because it's coming out of nowhere, I'm not thinking about my dad or anything like that. I was like, okay, still puzzled by it. So I answered the phone. It's my sister on the other line, and she's asking, where are you? And I'm like, I'm at the barbershop. What are you doing? I'm like, I got a client. So I was getting irritated by the questions. Have you heard? No, I haven't heard. What? And are you sitting? And I'm like, what get you know the what is it? So long story short, she said that our dad had passed and that she was with him at that moment. So I give the phone back. I'm processing this. I'm standing in the middle of the barbershop and I got my young client sitting in the chair. So I don't know if she heard anything. She was on the iPad, but I don't know if she heard anything. But as I went to turn, I literally had to process it, hold my emotions because I have this young kid in my chair. And I got to go back and complete the service. And I was actually a little over halfway done with her, but nonetheless, um, in that moment, I had to pull it together so that I can continue the service and also not put that child in a situation where they were uncomfortable or they felt some type of way. So needless to say, that was earlier in the day. We didn't close at that location till 8 o'clock that night. So I went from the time I got the call, which was um, around noontime, to the rest of the day. Hey, WK, thank you for joining. Greatly appreciate you tuning in. We're talking about tonight hustle or alignment, why they aren't the same. And I'm actually on point number 2 of hustle ignores capacity, alignment respects it. And I've given a few examples in reference to um, how this is seen or how it is viewed or how our audience can understand what the difference is with this particular point. And I was given an example of how ignoring the mental load from clients' life and responsibilities takes a toll on us. And I was using the example of me um, having life things happen and me having to set them aside for clients, just giving an example of how, you know, things like that happen within the industry. But nonetheless, I had the whole day to go through, so I had to process that. My clients who know me, who've been coming in to see me, when they walked through the door, they immediately knew something was different about me. I let them know. They were very patient and caring and supportive. I did get through the day. And so that was just an example of how, as barbers, we have to manage, organize, and, you know, set some things to the side, rearrange some things in order to do what it is that we do, and draw the line between, you know, our clients and things along that line. I can say my clients are like family to me. But nonetheless, that is another example of hustle ignores capacity where alignment respects it. So, and in my case, I was respecting the space, respecting my clients, yet um, taking care of myself to the best of my ability in that particular scenario. But it does happen, and those are some of the things that happen as it relates to life, responsibility, and the mental load when we're overloaded with things. The next one is feeling guilty for needing rest. When you're in the hustle culture, the hustle mentality that consumes you or runs you, rest is foreign. I've heard it. I can rest when I die. Well, if your lack of resting caused you to die, then okay, then. You know what I mean? So those are just some examples. So burnout isn't about a badge of honor. It's a warning sign. And I want you, especially our younger barbers and those who are entering in this industry, whatever industry you're entering into, learn to balance. If your body is telling you something and you're working through the pain, the fatigue, a burnout, um, that's not the grind. That's not the grind. It just isn't. So what I want you to take away from this particular point is respecting your capacity, your ability to handle a certain situation is a form of professionalism, no matter what you're in. So respecting your capacity, your ability to handle, to sustain, to care, to do whatever it is that you do, is a form of professionalism, especially those of us who are service providers. We really have to balance that. And I'm talking from experience. And I've even stepped away and put myself first, stepped away from a position because the individual was trying to get me to add on uh, to my schedule. And I was like, no, this is what I can handle. This is why I can handle only this at this time. And these are the reasonings. They knew about it because I kept them informed to a certain extent. Yet at the same time, I had to look at my health, where I was, because I'm the service provider. You know, I know what I can handle and what I can't in accordance with the rest of my schedule and the things that I got going on to help me be able to be here and be behind this chair, you know? So I had to choose, I had to make a choice, and that choice was difficult. But had I not made that choice, I would have been saying yes and ignoring me. No. So respecting your capacity is a form of professionalism. All right. I want y'all to get this. My young folks, I want y'all to get this. Please, please, please. I'm begging you. But nonetheless, let's get into point number 3. So if you're tuning in and you're just capturing this, the first point we talked about is hustle is output driven, alignment is purpose driven. Hustle, and from that first point, hustle is about output, how much you can do, how much you do. Whereas alignment is focused on the why and the how. Why you do it, how you do it. Okay, point number 2, we talked about hustle ignores capacity, your ability to be able to handle, sustain, do what it is that you do. And alignment respects that capacity of you being able to handle and do what you do. So with that, hustle assumes your energy is limited, whereas alignment understand that your hustle is seasonal. So there are some, there's some seasons where you got it, you're strong, you can go, 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 go. And there are some seasons where you got to balance that go, 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 go with getting your body some, whatever the reason may be. There's a season, okay? There's a season for it. All I'm asking is that you balance that. So point number 3 is hustle chases validation, alignment builds longevity. Hustle chases validation. When you think about it, and I'm going to give you some examples so you get a clearer understanding, you get a visual of what I'm talking about, and I'll share some of my experiences with this. Because I'm not just talking this just to be, talking, oh, she jumping on doing this. No, this is about purpose. I told y'all I'm intentional. I'm a teacher, instructor, educator by nature. And I also, like I mentioned, want the younger generation not to fall into some of the pitfalls that many of them do when they're starting out in this industry. And because I am a little more seasoned coming in, I have a different viewpoint, I have a different experience, so I see things different. So in sharing this, it's my hope that you'll take what you can, use what you can, and the rest put it on the shelf. All right? All right, because you might not agree with everything, but that's okay. We have our own opinions. That's what it's all about. We have different experiences, and we've been exposed to varying situations. So, You take what you can, put the rest on the shelf, or don't what you don't like or don't care for. It's okay. It won't bother me. All right, let's see. We got some comments here. WK says, hello, everyone. I think I shared that. These are awesome points, Yah-Tay. Thank you so very much. Okay, halftime is over. Bad Bunny did that, but I'm here. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ladosha. I appreciate you tuning in. Hey, WK, she was saying, hey, WK, no problem. Tonight's episode, I just want to do a quick recap for those of you who are tuning in. Get into point 3 and then prepare to close us out with a recap of what we've discussed. So tonight is about hustle or alignment. Why the two aren't the same. They're not the same, even though people think they are the same, but they're really not the same. So the first point we talked about was hustle equals output, alignment is purpose driven. The second point we discussed was hustle ignores capacity, whereas alignment respects capacity. Alignment respects it. So now in point 3, I only have 3 points, and I know that I've given some examples, but nonetheless, the third point, hustle chases validation, whereas alignment builds longevity. And the point that I want to focus on with this here explanation of the 3 points is hustle seeks applause, alignment builds sustainability. And I mentioned that early on with alignment and being able to be sustainable for a long time in this career. Because like I mentioned, we had Nakia Berry on, who is a licensed massage therapist, and she talked about taking care of the body. And she brought some interesting statistics. And the one that stuck out the most for me was that individuals within this industry, and though we were talking about barbering, but oftentimes individuals in the barber and beauty industry, 5 years is where they reach their burnout. And as I shared earlier, I come with information and points where our younger individuals who are coming into the industry and those who are considering it can take these to help lay a foundation that is sustainable for the longevity of their career, whatever time frame they desire to be in it. And I bring this up and I share this because I'm a little more seasoned. I didn't come in at 18, 19, 20, even though I've been around the industry before I was born, literally before I was born. I've been and done a lot of different things. So in saying that, I know the difference, and I'm bringing those experiences so that those who have ear to hear can make the necessary adjustments and don't fall into some of the pitfalls that many do because they're hustling and not being in alignment with what it is that they're called to do. If this is your calling and you know you're supposed to be here, then you want to seek alignment. The demand is there. The resources are there. You get your stuff in alignment and you're going to see how it flows. And you're going to be sustained. And you're going to have the longevity. But you got to learn balance. You know, too much of anything is not good for you. All right. And it don't last always. All right. So in that, hustle seeks applause, alignment builds sustainability. And here are a few examples. Posting nonstop to stay visible, but feeling creatively drained. You know, I have to balance that because when we're talking about social media and keeping our presence out there and being visible, it's challenging, it's taxing, it takes a lot out of you, especially if you're not in a position where you have a social media team, somebody doing it, because you got to create the content while you're doing the work, because oftentimes that's how we do it. We create the content based on the clips and the images, and trying some, not all, because I'm not one of them, trying to chase that viral moment, that one viral moment. And then you got to think about, once you get that viral moment, you, you got to keep you, well, it may push you to continuously chase that. So, in saying that, posting nonstop to stay visible, but feeling creatively drained, that's where the validation comes in versus building longevity. So, though I don't post as often as even I would like to, I do post with intentions. Often, if you look at my content, you'll see that I have a lot of quotes, a lot of messages. It's about inspiration, motivation, things along those lines, because that's just been the nature of my career, working with young people, supporting them, encouraging them, providing insight. So, from a general standpoint, you'll see that with my content. You'll see me post things in reference to what I do. However, there's always a message with it. There's always something relatable in that. Some flaws, some challenges that I'm experiencing, and I'm mindful of the line. Not oversharing too much, or things along that line. Let's see what LaDosha has to say. She said, people rarely return after a viral clip. You're right, they do. And for those who get the ones who put the viral clip out of there, I feel like it's like, depending on their position and the value that they see within themselves, they tend to keep chasing that. So that pushes them down that rabbit hole to keep going. Oh, I got to get another one. Oh, I got to get another one. Instead of focusing on the quality of what they're putting out versus the quantity. And, like what I'm discussing, hustle over alignment. There can be controversy even with this subject, but it all depends on how your perspective, where you are in your life, as to whether this hits different for you. But it doesn't negate the fact that hustle and alignment, they're not the same. And I'm pointing that out clearly. LaDosha also says, to be fair, a lot of people want to go viral, but at times do not know how to capitalize off of it. That is so true. They do want to go viral, but don't know how to use it once they've gone viral for it. So how do you make this work for you? That in and of itself is another subject as well, versus chasing it for the sheer means of chasing that high per se, versus how can I capitalize off this moment where I got all these eyes on me. True, very true. Thank you for pointing that out. So with this last point here, posting nonstop. Oh, another example, comparing your journey to barbers in different seasons. We get this all the time. And this is the trick side or flip side of social media. Everybody don't post, how can I phrase this? You don't always see the flip side or the downside or the challenging side or the troublesome side that people are experiencing. We get the highs, the highlights, the positives, all of those things. We get that majority of the time when you see social media. So in getting that brings me to comparing your journey. So you're looking at this and you scrolling and you comparing where you are in whatever season you are in to somebody else's season. Oh yeah, oh, they doing this, oh, they doing that. You don't know their experience, you don't know what they've gone through, you don't know what they've done to get the way they are, good, bad, indifferent. You don't know, but all you see is an image, all you see is a clip, all you see is a carousel, the likes, the comments, that's all you see. And then viewing it, what are you looking at it for? What are you looking to gain from that? So comparing your barber's journey to others who are in different seasons, that's not only unfair to you, it's not fair to them. But more specifically, we're talking about you. Comparing your journey to barbers in different seasons is not fair to you at all. You're not there. You can glean from them. You can draw insight from them, um, inspiration from them. You can get many things from them, but you cannot compare your journey or where you are in whatever season you're in to another barber and their season and where they are. You can't do it. If you are, you're setting yourself up. Please don't do that. You have a unique journey. Find out what it is, what it's all about, what your vision is, uh, getting in alignment with your purpose, your why, and the how, and you'll be able to better navigate chasing the hustle versus being in alignment. You don't want to be out there chasing validation in your hustle mentality. You want to be about alignment and being purpose driven and building longevity so that you're sustainable in this career for whatever time that you want to be in this career, you desire to be in this career. So comparing your journey to other barbers in different seasons is a no-no. All right. Take what you can, use it, but don't compare, because that's the first step to beginning to tear yourself down. I'm not living up to this. Well, you only got 6 months in or a year in. They got 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. It doesn't necessarily make one better than the other, because you have an insight that some seasoned individuals don't. And here's an example of that. You get a seasoned individual, they stuck on how we did it and why we did it, when we did it, and not seeing the youthfulness and how times have changed and how they can maximize these differences. Example, social media. You got a lot of elderly or seasoned individuals within the industry who don't care for social media, who don't use it, and that's okay. Maybe they're preparing to phase out. Maybe their clientele is such that they solid. Yet at the same time, those who see the value in it will, take some interest. Oh, okay. Well, show me how to do that. How can I start from where I am until I feel more comfortable to build upon that? It's all about perspective and vision and where you are. Let's see, Ladosha says, I use social media simply to demonstrate I'm up to date. I had to throw away my yellow pages. I know, right? They probably don't even know what yellow pages are, Ladosha. Yeah, I'm trying to balance it, because oftentimes, and this is a transparent moment about social media, sometimes I get anxious about it because I feel like I'm not posting enough. And then there are other times I'm like, okay, when you do post, Yah-Tay, your stuff is quality, is providing insight, is giving some value. It may not be value to everybody, but I tell you what, anybody that come across many of my messages can gain something out of what they see, or it'll leave them thinking about something. So I have to balance that myself. Don't worry about the quantity. Be okay with the quality of what you're putting out. So until I can get me a social media assistant and get more with learning the platforms and post time, what I'm thinking of, uh, setting up stuff where it can go out, then yeah. So I'm balancing some things because I got a whole other side of personal life that's lifing right now, that I'm balancing that with my clients and just moving forward, because I'm at a place where I'm pivoting. I told y'all I had some lessons, some lessons last year, some big ones. I don't want to say losses, because even a loss is a lesson. I had a lot of them, to the point where I just felt beat down. Though I did accomplish some things last year, I'm making some pivots. I'll just say that. So in making some pivots, oftentimes we got to slow down, we got to evaluate, we got to look at stuff, test it and pray over it so that we can move forward. So that's kind of where I am. So that's why I'm saying, even in these points that I'm sharing, I'm providing y'all not only with experience, knowledge, but hey, I've worked in a lot of different places. You know what I'm saying? This is it for me. But I just want to share that. The last one in this particular point is building a career others admires while secretly feeling depleted. So you're looking at, again, remember, this point is about hustle, chase, and validation versus alignment, building longevity. So for this last example, you're building a career for others to admire. Let me ask you, do you admire while secretly feeling depleted? You're building for others to admire what you're doing or what you do, but you're feeling depleted with that. Got to think about it. So are you hustling or are you in alignment? Because alignment is going to provide you that sustainability. Alignment gives you the purpose, the why, and the how. Whereas hustle, it drains, you seeking validation, you're output driven, and it ignores your capacity, your ability to be able to handle this. So, longevity is quiet. Burnout is loud. Think about that. So what I want you to take away from this last point is, if it's not sustainable, it's not successful. If you cannot sustain it, there's no way you're going to be successful with it if you can't sustain it. So these are the differences between hustling and alignment, and why they are not the same. You cannot ignore you cannot ignore it. Exhaustion is not the goal. You want to be sustainable. You want to have longevity. You want to be purpose driven. All the positive. You want to build longevity. You want to be in alignment. So here's the truth. Hustle might build momentum, but alignment builds longevity. Oh, not the yellow pages. It's not the yellow pages weekend. I know, right? So, in a quick recap before I close out, I just want to go back through and recap the points that I've shared tonight. So, if you're just tuning in, this is episode number 56, and we're talking about hustle or alignment. Hustle does not equal success, and why these two are not the same. They're not the same. And exhaustion isn't the goal. So busy does not equal successful. Burnout is often a sign of misalignment and not ambition. So you got to think about that. So point number one, we talked about so I'm just summarizing this. Hustle culture was or is about is survival, not strategy. So think about that when I talk about the first point of output driven versus purpose driven. You got survival in many cases because you going, and outputting, um, but you don't have a strategy. When you're in alignment, you got your why, your how. That's a strategy that helps you build sustainability for longevity. All right. So many barbers are taught to grind out of necessity, not intention. Think about that. These are just some quick points, a different perspective. Hustle help us start, uh, but it can't be maintained long term. Your body is not going to allow you to continue to put out like that. All right. You're going to be drained, fatigued. You're going to reach burnout a lot sooner. Survival mode keeps you reactive instead of strategic. You don't always want to be on the reactive side of things. Proactive maybe, but not reactive. And having the hustle mentality, oftentimes you end up being reactive versus proactive, or yeah. All right. So what I want you to take away from that first point, if you don't work nonstop, what are you afraid will happen? What are you afraid is going to happen if you don't work nonstop? The second point, burnout is feedback, not failure. So when you experience that, where you're reaching capacity or you've ignored capacity and you're not respecting it in terms of being aligned, then you reach a burnout. It's not failure. So consistent exhaustion is a warning light. If you're consistently exhausted, look at that. If your body is giving you pain signals and different things, there's aching that you hadn't known before. That's your body telling you, wake up. I'm tired. Something's going on in here that you need to pay attention to. And physical pain, irritability, and lack of joy are also signals that your hustle is ignoring your capacity to handle this. Okay. Another thing, ignoring burnout shortens careers and damages relationships. When you think about it, if you're ignoring these signs, you becoming burnout, you shorten your career. Okay. And your relationships. So the point that I want you to remember here, or ask yourself, what is your body trying to tell you that you're not listening to? What is your body trying to tell you? All right. The third point, alignment creates longevity. So we're going to end on a positive note. Alignments create longevity. Aligned work feels focused and not frantic. Clear boundaries protect your energy and creativity. We talked about this in a previous podcast, that episode 53 that I was talking to you about, vision without burnout. Check that out again. We talked about that. Clear boundaries protect your energy and your creativity. All right. Success should support your life, not consume it. All right. So what I want you to take away from this last point, does your schedule reflect your values? Do my schedule reflect my values or just your habits? Are you hustling to support your habits and not in alignment to support the success of your career, to enhance your schedule? Okay, so think about that. I want to ask you some questions, leave you some other things to think about, and you ask yourself this. The first question, I got three. The first one I want, The first one, I want you to ask yourself, are you, and I'm asking me, am I working from purpose or pressure? Purpose, alignment, pressure, hustle. Okay. Am I working from purpose? Am I in alignment? Or am I working for pressure? Am I hustling? It's the first question. Next question, ask yourself, what would change if rest was part of your success plan? What would change if I incorporated rest as part of my success plan? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm already noticing the difference in me getting the rest and how it is translating not only into my health, um, but my clients, my interaction with my clients, and how me taking care of me and ensuring they take care of them, not just with their appearance, their hair, but their body as well. So I'm seeing the difference with how incorporating rest in my success plan is making a difference in my alignment with what I'm doing at this moment. And it's also helping me to see clearer with the vision as I prepare to pivot as well. Let's see, WK says here, I have a question. Do you think that people's expectations of creating content becomes challenging because they do, I'm gonna assume they don't realize how much work goes into making content? Perhaps what the easy, perhaps, I'm sorry, people, why I'm saying perhaps, people want the easy route at times. Oh, okay. To answer that question, you're right, Ladosha. That is a great question. Excellent question. I'm going to read it again. Do you think people expectation of creating content becomes challenging because they don't realize how much work goes into making content? I do think that. And I believe, one, especially I'm going to speak to new content creators who are looking at this and they're viewing social media and seeing all these different things. It can become overwhelming. It can become where you're trying to keep up with the Joneses per se, or keep up with what's going on. It can be taxing. And once you get into it, and you value, if you have value of what you're putting out, then it does become challenging because now you're pushing and pulling. Well, I know I need to get this out, but I want to ensure that I put uh, some good content out. And I know that people just put it up, put it out, put it up, put it out. You know, don't worry about what is it I want to say? What is it when you fix it and make it to put it together before you actually put it out? Editing it. Um, I'm in a space where I'm actually balancing this for myself. I have a lot of stuff in my phone. I got so many videos and different things in my phone because I'm a thinker from the standpoint of being conscious and logical about certain things, because I'm intentional about what I'm putting out. So I'm thinking from the educator brain, creative side, as well as the stylist. I'm a little mindful about what I do, not only what I put out, but what music do I put with this? Because one, you don't know who's watching. You don't know who may be looking at your content and they want to bring you on as a voice, as an ambassador, as a spokesperson, as someone along those lines. And you got all of this stuff that they can't thank you. We can't edit, yeah, edit, but they can't bring you on. Is your content professional? I try to be seamless in terms of my brand with color, with imagery. You know, I know we're in a space where, you know, you got to grab in the first 30 seconds. You know, I get it. But at some point, you got to balance it. So, but to answer your question, do you think that people's expectation of creating content becomes challenging because they don't realize how much work goes into making content? Even if you have a team that supports you in making content, you still got to strategize. You still got to, you know, brainstorm, strategize, put it together. There's still a lot that goes into it, because even if you got your team and you're the vision for it, you got to be able to communicate to them what it is that you want your brand to represent, what you want to put out there. So it still takes a lot of work. You know, it still take time. It may not take as much time if you have a team, but there's still time invested in creating that content and making it cohesive and keeping it professional for those who are looking to share their content in that vein. You know, people are on social media for many different reasons, and they share a lot of different things. You know, I do share some personal stuff, but I'm mindful of what I you know, what I share, even though AI now is tapping into your phone, reading your email, summarizing everything. You know, I've always said, even coming from an intel background in the military, we live in public, um, and somebody is watching you all the time. You know what I'm saying? We're being watched, and yeah, the internet footprint. And I tell my kids this: when you put it out there, even if you delete it, it still can be picked up by a programmer who knows how to go in and pull that information. So nothing is deleted forever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all look at social media. People can screenshot it before you delete whatever it is, and it can come back years later. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing why I am very mindful about what I put out, how I present it. Um, Call it being skeptical, whatever. I'm just mindful of it. Like I said, being mindful of what I put out, how it's presented, what music is with it. Now, sometimes you might find a clip where you got an N word or here or something like that, but it's not vulgar throughout the whole, you know, script. You might catch it on the tail end, or I done slid it and I ain't slide it just right. But anyway, back to what I was saying about sharing this with a younger generation. Yeah, you young now, and you think this is a hip, and you're going through it and you putting it up. But as you grow and you mature and you want to switch into different lanes, that stuff gonna come back. People have lost contracts, they've lost deals. I know of some personally by what they put on social media. And somebody, oh, let me go check their social media out and see how they are. No, we got to cancel this contract. We got to cancel this. We got to cancel this. Well, we're not going to even bring them in. Hiring, same thing. Let me check their social media. Let me Google them. Let me, yeah. So you got to be mindful of that. Let me get back to this. So once again, does your schedule reflect your values or just your habits? You in hustle mode with your habits, or you are, your schedule is based on your values, therefore based on you being in alignment, therefore based on you being purpose driven with your why and your how. And the last question that I wanted to ask, so I asked the 3 questions for you all to think about. I'll go over the first 2 real quick as I prepare to close out. The first one is, are you working from purpose or pressure? What change what would change if you rest, if rest was part of your success plan? And I told y'all, I'm looking at that now, I'm testing that now, and I'm seeing how me resting, especially at the season place where I am, is really helping me to do more in actuality. Y'all young folks might not see that. Nah, how you gonna rest and you doing more? Nah, you'll see. How the old folks say, by and by, you'll see. It'll come. You'll come back and say, yeah, I remember when Yah-Tay said this. And the last one, who benefits when you stay burned out? Who benefits when I stay burned out? Do I benefit? Do my family benefit? Do my clients benefit? Do my students benefit? You know, do what I'm doing or looking to do do does that benefit from this? So ask yourself, who's benefiting when you stay burnt out? Nobody is benefiting. I answer that for you. Nobody is benefiting when you stay burnt out. So success isn't how tired you are. Success isn't how tired you are. Okay? It's how sustainable your life is behind the chair. So it's not how tired, it's about your sustainability. So, as I mentioned earlier, here's the truth: hustle might build momentum, but alignment is going to build longevity for you. You don't have to prove your worth through exhaustion. You don't have to earn rest. Okay? You don't have to earn rest. Yeah, you should just be able to rest. I just want to say, if this episode gave language to something that feels that you've been feeling, share it with another barber or barber stylist or stylist or anybody from for that matter. Because like I said, though these points are geared to the barber, they can be used in any industry. Just take off the title, just take off the label, and look at it is what you're doing. Are you hustling in it? Are you in alignment with it? You can use this for anything. So if this episode resonated with you and is something you've been thinking about, share it with someone else who needs this reminder. All right. This is Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. Thank you all for tuning in to episode number 56. I pray that you've received some insightful information from this. Let me see here. WK says, rest is always important. Burnout is real. I've been there before. It makes you not want to do anything. That's how you destroy your dreams fast. Oh, I got to read this again. Rest is always important. Burnout is real. I've been there before. I've been there before, which is why I'm going through this, which is why I am adamant and it's been laid on my heart because, you know, I'm coming into this industry a little more seasoned to share this viewpoint. And like I mentioned earlier, you know, you're gonna get those individuals is for the hustle game. They're about the hustle culture. That's cool. I was there once, but I'm also about alignment. I'm also about being purpose driven. I've also been there, done that. And I want to be a voice to support those young barbers and young stylists and individuals who are just getting in or considering the industry. These are some things that I want them to think about from the very start. Don't be distracted by a seasoned barber or somebody who's been in the game for a while trying to dump all this stuff on you and you're not balanced between the two. And I'm not saying that you can't take and glean from them. I'm saying take what applies to you and leave the rest, because there are many people who have left the industry because of what somebody has said before they even got into it good. They've left the industry. So being on the more positive side of this and what I believe my purpose and mission is, which is why I'm happy to have obtained the instructor license at this time and all those lessons I've learned to be in this position so that not only I can share this with future generations, but help prepare them. And this is evergreen content. It's going to be here till they take it down. Or I take it down. Or they, anyway, I want them to be able to build longevity in this career, and have not only the longevity, but have a sustainable career for whatever time they choose, and not their body choosing for them because they weren't in alignment. They were in hustle mode. So remember these 3 points. Hustle culture is about survival, not strategy, when you're looking at it from hustle and alignment. Okay. Burnout is feedback, not failure. And burnout is real. So you got to get rest. As Yah-Tay says here, it makes you not want to do anything. We want you to be able to do things. Okay. That's how you destroy your dreams fast. I don't want you to destroy your dreams fast. I want you to build them so that you can have longevity with them, and that sustainability to support that longevity. So in point 2, burnout is feedback, not failure. Point 3, alignment creates longevity. That's all I got. I've already asked the questions. You ask yourself those questions. And if this information has made you feel something on the inside, share it with somebody else, because I'm sure somebody else can use this info as well. And as I said, thank you to those of you who are tuned in. Thank you, replay viewers. Thank you, those of you who continue to chime in. Yah-Tay, Dosha, Cheryl, Brandy. If I forgot you, don't charge it to my heart. Charge it to my brain. And happy Super Bowl Sunday to you all. And last year's Super Bowl Sunday fell on my birthday, and tomorrow is actually the day. So I'm really taking this all in, even for myself. So like I said, when I'm putting out content and putting out what we would call instructional videos or knowledge-based videos, I'm taking this info in too, which is why I can share with you all this perspective and give you not only examples, but things that I've experienced as well. Not to mention my experience or collective experience in varied careers. So with that, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you all. It's okay. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate you tuning in. Yah-Tay says, I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Thank you. I'm just going to take it easy. I have a couple appointments, and then I'm going to do something low key for myself. But other than that, I'm just grateful. I'll be grateful to wake up and see yet another day. Because like I said, I'm in a I'm pivoting, and not to sound morbid or anything like that. I know where I am right now, I have less days ahead of me than I do behind me. So I'm being intentional. I'm taking that rest. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. I appreciate it very much, Sandra. Happy birthday. And I'll be the big 5'4". I'm excited about it. I'm grateful. And I'm thankful. And I want to thank those of you who have been supporting Female Barber Talk podcast, Those of you who are catching it on the replay, thank you for having supported the podcast. I thank you. I thank you to my co-host Brandy for the Fade and Flow show. Every Sunday, that comes on every Sunday. We got more guests coming up. I'm scheduling more get special guests as well. If you're interested, I'm just going to put this out there. If you're interested in coming on the show and you're in the barber and beauty industry, I would love to have you on. Just reach out to me. With that, I will continuously bring more information like this. Not because I'm a barber instructor now, but because I am a teacher and encourager, and I just love sharing what I know. And I have this saying that's on, for many of you who don't know, I am a certified life coach and certified life purpose and career coach. So it's nothing new for me to do, but yet I'm always in a space, and I call it teach, share, give. Teach what you know, share what you have, and give what you can. And my desire ultimately is to teach, travel, and talk, because talking is different from teaching, even though you can teach while you're talking and talk while you're teaching. But that's the ultimate goal, is to teach, travel, and talk. So right now, I'm traveling virtually. I'm traveling through the internet streets at the moment. But nonetheless, thank you all for tuning in to episode 56, Hustle or Alignment, Why They Are Not the Same. And hopefully, based on the 3 points that I've shared with you, you understand why they aren't the same, and why one is what we call output driven, and the other one is purpose driven. All right. That's the difference between the two. Thank you all. I appreciate the birthday wishes. Enjoy until next time. Choose alignment every time, y'all. Choose alignment every time. I got one more comment. Wike says, have a good night. Larissa, hey, Larissa. I'm sorry. Larissa, Sandra, LaDosha, and everyone I missed. Thank you so much for the discussion, Yah-Tay. You're most welcome. I appreciate you all. Thank you all. And remember, once again, this is Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay, and chase alignment every time. Chase alignment every time, especially now that you know the difference between hustle and alignment. All right. Take care, everyone. Naturals.